Hey everyone, Eric Rodabois. It's been a minute since I've recorded a video, but I just had a meeting and here's what happened. So the moral of the story is be really careful when boyfriends and girlfriends buy real estate together. And so here's what happened in real life. Boyfriend and girlfriend decide to buy the house. Boyfriend has the money for the down payment, so when he does it, he goes and actually gets the mortgage, and he actually puts the down payment down, and the deed is issued in his name. Well, the girlfriend said, listen, I'll tell you what, I will pay the equivalent amount of the down payment on home renovations, so I'll pay out of pocket for that, and going forward, we will split all the expenses, the mortgage payment, the taxes, the insurance, 50-50. And up to this point, this is an oral agreement. It's just a conversation between a boyfriend and a girlfriend. And the down payment's about $40,000. The girlfriend, sure enough, pays for home renovations equaling about the same amount. And she's making the payments 50-50 every month, month after month after month. Well, what ends up happening is they later on decide, hey, just for my security and for my peace of mind, I'd really like to be added to the deed. So they go online and they download what's called a quitclaim deed. So a quitclaim deed is a very easy deed. There's different types of deeds, by the way. I'm sure you've seen the warranty deed and the limited deed. Well, the quitclaim deed is just a very simple transfer. Typically, when you're adding someone to a title, it's an easy way to do it. And so they prepare, and they go to one of their offices, and there's a notary, and they get a couple witnesses, and they fill out the deed. And they do it all themselves. They don't have a lawyer help them. And the deed basically says that now they're going to be joint tenants with right of survivorship, which is basically the highest level of joint ownership you can have other than when you're husband and wife, which is called tenants by the entirety. And so joint tenants with right of survivorship has a lot of power. It means that if one of us dies, the other one gets the property automatically, free and clear. It doesn't have to go through court, doesn't have to do anything. And so it'll give you a lot of peace of mind. However, if you think about it, maybe that's not what they wanted, right? Maybe what they were thinking is, you know, if I put in 50% and something happens to me, my 50% should go to my family, which they would need a different type of arrangement. And they probably, in that case, would need to have tenants in common as the type of ownership. And these are the different types of ownership you can have in real estate. So in any case, this deed is joint tenants with right of survivorship. They do it themselves, and they said, hey, let's just put it in a drawer, and one of these days we'll get around to filing it. Well, the girlfriend takes it upon herself. She takes it and goes down to the records office at the court. And according to her, she calls her boyfriend. He's like, hey, I have the deed. I'm just going to go ahead and file it. And he's like, okay, great. And she's like, don't worry. I'm going to use my credit card to pay the recording fee and we can work it out later. And he's like, no problem. And so they record the deed. Now they're both on the title, and because when you record a deed, they're not really doing a deep dive. They're not fact checking. It's just an administrative person working at the office downtown, and they just take the deed and they record it, okay? So now, for all intents and purposes, they jointly own this property. And the other thing is, it's not jointly 50-50, it's jointly 100-100. I don't know how to wrap your head around that, but they each own all of it. And so, of course, what ends up happening, they break up. And instead of it being an amicable breakup, instead of it being like, hey, let's work this out, the boyfriend sues the girlfriend, claiming that she tricked him into doing the deed, that there was an argument that maybe even she forged it, which is cockamamie because they were there at the office with the notary and witnesses. And then when he admits that, okay, well, I recorded the deed, I agreed to sign the deed, but I never wanted to record it. And she's like, I called you on the phone and told you, and so he's claiming that it's a fraud, right? So he sues her for what's called a quiet title action, where you try to say to the judge, hey, judge, that deed was fraudulent, it shouldn't have been ever done, and we need to remove her name from the title, okay? Well, what's she gonna do? She's gonna countersue to not only defend herself and say, no, first of all, I paid 50% because you paid the down payment, but then I paid the home renovations, then I can prove that I paid 50% of every monthly payment, and I can prove that you and I did this deed knowingly together and that you knew I was recording it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to sue you for a partition action. And a partition action is, hey, judge, force us to sell the property and we'll just split the proceeds. And then there won't be a property anymore and we'll be done. And money is pretty easy to just separate and put in our bank accounts and then we're done. So I don't know where you can start with the moral of the story. I think it's always tricky when boyfriends and girlfriends are buying real estate together. I think that they should have written something down, although I've seen some horrible chicken scratch contracts written by boyfriends and girlfriends that then you end up litigating anyways. They probably should have done it the right way with the help of a lawyer, and unfortunately they're going to probably spend the next 6 to 18 months litigating each other and dragging out what could have otherwise been just an easy normal breakup. So guys, if you have any questions or comments, leave one below, and I'm happy to talk to anybody who has a similar situation. Thanks guys.